Friends, hello. God, what an exciting day. If you're not addicted to the stock market and love what's going on right now, I don't know what to say or what to do for you, but this is the day. This is the day we're going to remember, and it's not over. We're still going here. Even after hours, I'm watching DJT here, and that's what we're going to talk about first because that was the most exciting stock today. If you haven't bought in, you didn't buy in, man, I don't want to tell you it's done because I don't think it's done. We're going to go into that. But it's running even after hours here. It's running to $50. We just hit 50 and then it went back down, but it's probably going to end the night here. It's trying to get a 50 here. So I'm so excited. This is fun. It's just plain old fun. That's what we're dealing with right now. So DJT, let's break this down. Why is the stock running so hard? What's going on here? Big night last night for Trump. Wow, big night. And I think a lot of people thought that, you know, today might be different, you know, because obviously the Tony stuff, and I will not comment on that because I don't want to get in trouble with my bosses here, YouTube, and but yes, how dare Tony. So here's the thing, big night last night. Today polls came out. Trump was annihilating the polls. Not only did he capture a huge night in New York, we really never, even some like people on CNN like came out, like just Democrats, and were like, I cannot even believe what happened last night with that many people showing up. Last night, Trump soaring in the polls even before the market opened today. You know, I woke up at like 5 o'clock today, and you know, Trump media was just already booming at a 41, 42, and I was like, we got to be going to 50 today. I mean, this thing's already pushing. With that too, the betting average is almost at 62% at this point. Not the betting average like the polls, but it's still something like where there's 62% of the people betting on this election with big money are now saying that they believe that Trump is going to win this election. And when we look at the polls right now, this is changing moment by moment because I just looked again, and you know, Kamala went back up a little bit. I think she's at 0.7 now, but that might change again here by midnight. But still, Trump is in these swing states. Trump is winning or extremely close. The thing that's interesting right now is that this is essentially the best campaign he's ever run from what we're seeing with polls, because he's never been this far in the polls. Never. Even in 2016 and 2020. Trump was, you know, 2020 was different because they expected stuff, but still he did better than what they had polled. So that is the concern with, you know, Kamala's team right now, is that, you know, there's all these hidden votes right now with Trump. So what is this all doing? Why am I saying all this? It's just adding more fuel to a raging fire right now with DJT. And a lot of people, you know, last time I talked about this was over the weekend. I was like trying to tell people, you know, kind of what I think I'm going to do, when I'm going to sell, buy back in, whatever I'm thinking of doing here. At this point, you know, I'm not selling under anything around 50 to 55. I think 50 to 55 is definitely going to happen here. I will say this, I was concerned today that they were going to halt the stock. We saw that in the past where they halted the stock. They did not halt the stock today, even with this mass movement, even more volume than when we saw the week that they did halt it. That's always in the cards, but I don't think they're going to do it this close to the election either. They know that would be they know that would extremely make people mad. So with that, you know, even if you bought in at 40 bucks right now, you got some money in your bank here. You know, you're doing well. If you bought in at 20, 30, you're doing really well. If you bought in at $12 just 3 weeks ago, congratulations. You can probably buy a car or a house at this point, depending on how much capital you put in. So that's exciting. But the question is, how high is this going to go? Now, from following this stock for 4 years, I've been trailing this stock. I've been following it for 4 years. And we've seen this stock go to $100. We've seen that. Now, that was some time ago. That was 4 years ago when the Trump and Digital World were first announced, the acquisition. That was 4 or 5 years ago at this point. And for that split second, the stock went to $100. Split second. And then it sold back off. Just back here in beginning of the year, back in March, when, you know, Digital World, finally the deal with Digital World and Trump Media closed, and we had Trump Media come to the market here. the stock went right under $70. So this is what we've been waiting for. This is the hot potato right now in the oven, where we're like, okay, how hot can this thing get? How much more is it going to cook? Well, it's breaking records. I remember I was talking about this stock 2 weeks ago where I was warning people. And I was getting comments after this is the most hated stock I've ever talked about, and I get why. I get it. It's a FOMO play. It's a risk play. It 100%. It could change tomorrow for the worse. 100%. There's no doubt about that. This is 100%. This is blackjack at this point. This is toss the dice, because we don't know what is the ceiling on this thing. With it moving this high just on Monday, I am curious to see, and it's still even after hours right now, it's trying to close in this $50 bill right here. Tomorrow, will it run? The market ran so hot today. I am curious how it's going to run tomorrow. We have Sofi reporting quarterlies tomorrow. We have a ton of big companies reporting quarterlies every day this week almost. So the market in general will probably run pretty hot. Not to mention, historically, the week before the election, the market does well. So there's really no reason for the market to have any kind of sell-off. We could have a slow day, but I don't know that we're going to see like a bloodbath of a day here. I don't think so. And the S&P 500 has been holding this 5,800 mark to a point here for weeks now. Trump media here, what I'm saying, it has everything pushing it behind it. It has the hype. It has the market. It has the key moment right now where the election is just next Tuesday. So it's only Monday. Tomorrow, could we be talking about 55? Could we be talking about 60? Could we just have a slow day? Maybe we'll just sell back down to a 45. That'd be okay. It's not as exciting, but still, $45. You're still up. Friends, there's no rule book for what we're going through right now. Like, we've never seen this. There's never been a company where the face of the company is the guy running for president again. Not to mention, he is killing it right now, and he is doing better than he's ever done in the polling, and just in general, where it looks like, my God, he could actually pull it off. So with that said, everybody's wondering when to take profit, what to do. Obviously, I think a lot of people have took profit today. I think obviously they probably took profit and are going to buy back in. The issue with the buyback in, I said this like 2 days ago when I talked about the stock. I said, I'm not selling because I don't know what the low is. I don't think it's going to stop, and it hasn't. It hasn't stopped. And like I told you, I've been following this stock for 4 years now. I've watched it, especially this year. Once this stock gets rolling, it does not stop. And right now, I don't think we're stopping. I think we're going to see 50. I think we're going to see 55. 60 is where I'm very curious to see how the stock is going to hold up. Can it hold a 60? If we get to Wednesday, Thursday, and we see this thing already in the 60, and this could be old news by then, obviously, I'll probably be talking about this every day, but I'm curious if it can hold something close to 100. That's really interesting at this point. Not to mention, are they going to allow it? Are they going to halt it? I don't think they're going to halt it at this point, because it's literally the most looked at stock right now. I mean, everyone is trying to get a piece of this thing, and that's what you're going through right now. You're watching the FOMO take place. You're watching people panic and go, oh my God, it went past 45. Oh my God, it's almost at 50. Well, of course it'll go to 55. And guess what? When it goes to 55, those people are making you money, because now they're buying it at $50. They're buying it 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. So they're making you money. Then those 55 people are going to go, okay, well then there's going to be people come in and go, oh my God, it's at 55. They're going to go, oh my God, I got to buy it. Then it's going to go 55, 56, 57. This is how you start making crazy money, but there is a loser at the top here. The question is, what is the top? Where is the sell-off? But I don't think we're going to know that until next Tuesday. I don't think we're going to know that. We've never seen anything like this. What can anyone tell you on YouTube? The person that's been in the market for 20 years, it's a hype play. It's not real. It's a thing where it's like, it's literally just, it's gambling at this point. But there's a lot of money to be made with it. I mean, the biggest moves and the biggest amounts of money I've ever seen be made in the market, it's not in AI stocks taking off. It's not in medical stocks taking off on people like penny stocks or anything like that. It's stuff like this. It's hype plays, it's FOMOs, it's AMCs, it's GameStops, it's Bed Bath & Beyonds. It's random stocks that just get a blazing freight train behind them and they go freaking nuts. That's what we're witnessing right here. My God, imagine if you just bought in this stock 3 weeks ago at $12. Imagine if you put $1,000 into that. It's the biggest score of the year for you, probably. Depending on how much higher this thing goes. Not to mention, even if you bought in at 25, 35, 30, you're still sitting in a pretty penny right now, depending on how many shares you bought. You're well into profit right now. So, friends, can this go to 50? We're at 50. We're at 50. We're calling 50. We're rounding it up. Right now, it's at 8.95. So we're gonna hit 50 here any moment. I'm curious if we can get to 60 here by Wednesday. If we're gonna see 60, it took all day today. It took all day today to knock out this 40. In one day, we knocked out 40. One day we knocked out 40 here. One day. That's all it took. Essentially, we started, a little lower, but I mean, no, we didn't, because today, this morning, we were at 39, and then we went to the 45, 46, and then we sold off a little bit, 45, and then we went blast off. Now we're right at 50. So, yeah, we knocked off $10 today. What if we do $10 a day? Tomorrow we're looking at 60. Next day we're looking at 70, 80. There's no rules right now. There's no rule book. This might be the GameStop of this quarter of this year. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying this is history in the making. And to me, this is the fun of it. I can say, years from now, I can go yeah, I remember when Trump media went, whatever happens with the election, it happens. But, these are fun moments to be a part of when you're in it in the market, because I remember where I was when GameStop took off. I remember where I was when AMC did its thing. I remember those plays. They're moments that you get to tell maybe your grandkids or something about when you teach them about investing in the future, or playing how to play hype plays, things like this. You're learning something too in this. So don't forget this. There will be more things like this. Maybe not quite like this, because I don't know if we'll ever have another president who is the face of the company. But this is 1 in a million situation. This is very rare, so that's why it has the potential to do insane numbers. So, friends, I am very curious to see how much further this is going to go. I cannot. I know people want me to give them a number. Listen, I'm just a guy just like you. I'm watching and I'm going, oh my God, we just knocked off $10 a day. $10. Do you know how much money and how much volume that takes? I'm not going to sit here and break down a candlestick chart. There's no reason. We're way past breaking down charts. This thing is running on FOMO and hype. And like I said, FOMO and hype will make you a load of money in this market. It just hit 50 again. That boom, we're at 50. It's exciting. It's exciting. All right, let's talk about some other things here. So let's talk about SoFi. Tomorrow is the day for SoFi. And here's what we're looking at right now with SoFi. I think SoFi has somewhat already positioned itself to go into these quarterlies. It's still very high. It's still very high. 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago, SoFi was, we were at $7, $8. When we hit $9, we were like, ooh, here's $9. So this is huge. This is huge. If you were buying in just, at the beginning of October, look at where we're at now. Quarterlies tomorrow are supposed to happen before market. So right now, analysts are saying that quarterlies will just pass. They'll do good. They more than likely won't be like face-melting quarterlies. Maybe. There's always the chance, obviously, and that's what we're hoping for. But these will happen before market open. Now, I will say this, and here comes a little bit of a double-edged sword with what I'm about to say, and let me clarify it with this next part. I am very bullish on SoFi. I'm very in SoFi for the long run. I believe in it, the company, everything that's happening, rate cuts, $2 billion deal that just took place, the credit card deal that just happened in the beginning of the month, everything, the CEO, Anthony, everything. Love it. On board. I'm ride or die. I'm drinking the juice. SoFi. Here's what I want to say as someone who's been in SoFi for the last few years, watching it, and who's been burned multiple times on SoFi. Here's what I will say. SoFi does this thing every time, and I'm curious to see if it's going to do it this time. Every time SoFi releases an earnings, a quarterly here, and it's good, it always has mass sell-off, and everyone gets hyped up. They go, this is it, this is it. Could that happen tomorrow? It very well could. It very well could. We could see SoFi run to $12 pre-market tomorrow, or even if we do see a decent quarterly here, we may see $12, which would be phenomenal. It'd be phenomenal. Now, if we have face-melting quarterlies here where we're like, oh my freaking God, you know, we could be talking about $15 here. Very in the realm of possibilities here. But I do want to say this too, as someone who has been here many earnings seasons, many quarterlies with SoFi. SoFi is famous for coming out with good quarterlies, good track record, got a money in the bank, all new customers, bunch of them, breaking records. Guess what? Stock plummets. Been there a lot. Now, the situation is a little different. SoFi has some muscle to back up what it's saying right now. It's got the deals, it's got the rate cuts coming, it's got all that stuff. This could be the start of SoFi finally holding some ground. I do believe that if we just have a basic quarterly where it comes out and says, hey, we met quarterlies, we're still projected to, you know, X this next year with numbers, we're doing good, everything's good over here, customer base is growing, everyone's happy, good, great, okay, that's the least we could ask for right now. I do suspect SoFi will probably sell off into the high 9s on a bad day here. Now, I know that may piss off some people, I get it, but I do think that could be a bottom here for SoFi. It doesn't mean that's bad, it just means that's opportunity. So if you're looking at SoFi here and you're going like, oh my God, I gotta buy in tomorrow, there will be a sell-off here because SoFi has ran so hard. Don't kid yourself. There will be a sell-off here. So, you know, if you're like, if it goes $12 tomorrow and you're like, I'm buying at 12, maybe, you do what you want to do. Personally, I'm going to hold back a minute, and I'm gonna see how SoFi reacts to this news. I'm going to see how SoFi reacts to this quarterly, because like before, I've seen this time and time again with SoFi. It does this every time. It boosts up, boost up, boost up. Granted, this time's different, but there's always a mass sell-off. Now, this time is a little different as well, with all the, like I said, the numbers. But two, there is an election next week. So, we'll see how the market reacts to that. SoFi is loving this market. The market is doing well. S&P 500 holding this 58, trying to get past into a middle ground 5800. I'm excited. I'm very curious to see what these quarterlies do, but really what I'm more excited about with SoFi right now, I'm excited about next year quarterlies with SoFi. Rate cuts start to take effect here within earnings. This big old deal we just saw with SoFi. What else is SoFi going to be coming out with here that we don't know about? SoFi growing in customer basis. Maybe we're getting into a nice economy next year. Maybe people got some money in their pocket. Maybe people are taking loans. The car market picks back up. People are buying more houses. These are things that are really going to start to move bigger quarterlies here with SoFi. You know, you got to understand this too in this situation. When we talk about SoFi, you know, SoFi is still in this realm of like, you know, it's not really like in the billions yet. It's not bringing in billion-dollar quarterlies here, okay? This isn't an AI company because, you know, I think a lot of people are so used to like NVIDIAs and Teslas and, you know, even Palantir at this point, my God. SoFi is really just now getting its gears together for what it's doing. You know, this was a student loan program company here just like yesterday, and now it's completely shifted into something else. So this is still the genesis stage of what SoFi is doing. So why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this just so you don't get too alarmed tomorrow. Like if SoFi runs to like $13 and then has a mass sell-off, you know, don't go like, what the crap is this? If SoFi held a high 9 or a somewhere in a middle 10, maybe 11, I would be a plum. I mean, that would be fantastic. If we close out this year with SoFi being around $11 to $12, even 10, I am happy. I'm happy, okay? Because 2 months ago, like, none of this was going on with SoFi. We weren't talking about rate cuts happening. We didn't know if they were going to happen. We didn't know about this $2 billion deal. We didn't know about the credit card situation. You know, and I don't know. We'll see who wins this election. So I'm happy. If SoFi closes out at a double-digit number this year, you're not going to hear a peep out of me, okay? Pltr, oh yeah, baby, with a market cap of right under $95 billion and growing. We got Q3s coming out here Monday, November 4th, after the market closes. Oh, baby, this is going to be the one. This is the one right here where people are making tons of money. This is the stock of the year. This will go down as 2024 stock of the year with people that just became rich. And I honestly think it's going to do that in 2025. I think it's going to do that in 2026, 27. I think every year Pltr is just going to exceed expectations. It's going to, I mean, my God, this company keeps locking in deals. I can't even keep up with the deals it's making all the time. I mean, like, it's ridiculous. It's the S&P 500 inclusion. You know, we couldn't ask for a better CEO because he talks to us. He tells us things. He pumps up the company in the right ways. He's excited. I mean, what more can we ask for at this point with a company? I mean, this is like a baby NVIDIA at this point. Obviously, completely different company. So, you know, for the person writing the comment, like, actually, it's not. Understand what I'm saying here. This is like with Pltr right now. You need to understand you are mining for gold, and you're gonna find huge chunks of gold right now because we're still in such the beginning stages of what is coming and what hasn't been unearthed yet with Pltr. Pltr being at this $40 price tag right now, and today having a little bit of sell-off, which was very interesting. But I say sell-off, I mean, we're still at like $45. I mean, that's still high compared to like 10 days ago. But it's holding this moment right now. The question is this the price now for Pltr? Is this the price? So, you know, if we see these quarterlies and they meet expectations, maybe they're like 10% over what is expected. Okay, great. We'll probably hold around a $38, $42 range, somewhere in there from week to week with Pltr. You know, it'll sell off, people will buy more, sell it, and you know, accumulate it. Now, okay, let's have a real conversation here and say, like, okay, these quarterlies coming out here, and you know, these earnings are just, you know, they're knock your socks off. They're like, you know, they're 20, 35% increase, and there's things in there we did not even know about with deals. Once again, okay, now we're getting into like, oh my God, you know, here goes another round of FOMO. Here goes another round of like people are just, it's like throwing chum in the water. You know, this is in these. Here's the thing. What I think we've learned this year with these AI stocks, and obviously including Pltr in this. With a lot of these AI stocks, and obviously NVIDIA being the top one here, and you know, Tesla is just completely going to be a force to reckon with here in the next 5 years with any AI company. But talking about Pltr in particular, and even the Microsoft deal, I mean, my God, they're breaking all records. You know, these AI companies, these earnings that they're coming out with, we've never seen earnings like this for a lot of these companies. We're like, we didn't know earnings like this were possible. You know, look at what NVIDIA is making just on a 3-month basis. I mean, we're talking billions upon billions upon billions of dollars where they have so much positive cash right now. I mean, they have more money than most countries in the world at this point. And it's about to just start all over again with the Blackwell chip. Now, let's talk about Pltr in that situation. You know, Pltr is getting into a place where, you know, it keeps breaking records. It keeps breaking records, and it's going to get into a point where it's going to, you know, get into a valued stage because it's still undervalued at this point. You know, imagine Pltr gets to like imagine we do see a 20-35% increase in this quarterly, what it's supposed to be. It's just like, you know, in Pltr, let's say it goes to $50 to $55. Okay. All right. Now we feel good about this. Now it's like, okay, I feel like Pltr is a little more represented, you know, for what's coming. You know, this is a nice place to be. Okay, guess what's going to happen here? we're going to get into next year, and this AI boom is going to start to take over again. You know, the whole NVIDIA play is going to start to take place again. NVIDIA is going to be releasing these Blackwell chips. They're going to be coming out with quarterlies again. They're probably going to continue to beat quarterlies. And, you know, we just saw a huge chip maker beat insane quarterlies. I mean, like, just made, like, all the money in the world. So, Palantir, there's no real rule, once again, talking about these rules here, of what it can do. It's going to make more money than what people think it's going to make. And that's what we're seeing. That's my whole argument here, is that these AI companies, they're making more money than we've ever seen. Just basic earnings for basic companies in the stock market, in the S&P 500 that are in the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ. So there's no rules of how high it can go with how fast. Can Palantir be a $60 stock here within 2 weeks? Sure. Imagine they come out with face-melting quarterlies here. Sure. You know, just on, you know, October 25th, Palantir hit $44. Okay, well, days before that, you know, at the beginning of October, guess where we were? Once again, at the beginning of October, we were at $36. Okay, now we're talking about almost a $10 difference at this point. We're talking about $10 once again. That's a huge markup. It's a huge markup. I mean, we're talking huge. So friends, I just made a video about Palantir. I don't want to repeat myself too much here, but I do want to say that this is something I am personal friends in my life. This is something that I'm telling them not to sell. I am encouraging people just to use this as, like, put this in your Roth IRA, your retirement, whatever. If you can afford $5 a week, $500 a week, just start accumulating this stuff. I would not get rid of this stuff. I would not, you know, if you're like, oh, I got a $1,000 profit, don't get greedy. I would just keep accumulating this stuff. I would keep accumulating this stuff. We don't know how high and how much Palantir is going to be worth here in 3 to 4 years. It keeps changing every quarterly. Every few months, we see another deal, we see another partnership. It is going to be one of the fastest growing AI stocks in the next 5 years. Guarantee you. That's why it's getting talked about with Microsoft, Tesla, Meta, you know, all the NVIDIA, AMD, all these AI stocks. Palantir is working its way right into that same household conversation of AI companies. These quarterlies are going to be very interesting. And they're really going to be the dominant sector of which way it's going to go. If they're really good, Palantir is going to hold this $40 mark. Guaranteed. We're going to see this hold $40. So we're definitely never seeing $20 again. It's gone. The 20s are gone. It would take something drastic, deadly to happen for that to happen. Mid-30s, I could see. Sure. I hope so. I want to buy more. But 20s, friends, I'm going to shut up now. Listen, there's a lot to talk about in this market. The market is just insane right now. Next week, I don't know what next week holds in the market. I really don't. But I can tell you that this week is off the charts. The first two stocks, DJT, Sofi, make your own decision where you want to be in those and where you want to sell and all that, or where you want to hold for them. But Palantir is one that I am not selling. I am not selling that stock. There is no way. There's no way. No way. Friends, take care. Talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.